This tutorial looks at link structure.
It's the last tutorial that we will be dealing with that will deal directly with links and is really talking about the actual philosophy of links more than anything else. It's a very straightforward section and it really is all about how we save our files and where we save our files and how we link to our files. We've covered a good bit of this over the last 3 tutorials, but we'll carry on with this one here and just keep it nice and simple with regards to what we expect to do and how we expect to do it with regards to your links. So link structure. The first question you really have to ask yourself is, where do you store your website when you're working on it? Now, I've said this several times before in class, that it's really important that you save all of your files, whether they're web pages or images or videos or whatever content you're using in your site, you save it all into the one folder. And for novices, it's easier to save everything into the one folder and not have any subfolders in there as well, because that gets a little bit confusing and a little bit more complicated. So what I'm suggesting is that everyone just saves it in everything into the one single folder. Okay, and if you do that, it's very, very easy for you to create your links, as we've seen with Expression when you're using internal links to other web pages, or external links to other web pages, or external links to other resources. Very simple when everything is in the one folder. So that's my suggestion. Now, with regards to link structure, there are really 2 different approaches to this, or 2 different types of links that we've got to look at. The first one is what's known as an absolute reference, and this is the full address. So not just the name of your file, but also the folders that it's in and also the domain that it's in and so on. Okay, so an example of an absolute reference would be this idea of a link that will have the HTTP colon bit at the beginning, the protocol. It will also have the dit.ie or the domain name. It will also have whatever number of folders, and also have the actual name of the file itself. That is a full address. We normally use this when we're linking to other people's resources, other people's websites. On the other hand, you have what's known as a relative reference. And as I keep saying, if everything is placed into one folder, this becomes very, very simple. And a relative reference it means that you're linking to an actual web page or another resource which is relative to a location to where the web page that you're linking from is. Okay, so if you put everything into the one folder, it becomes very simple. You just the reference will just contain the name of the file. Okay, so in our case, if we're linking to a web page called contacts.htm, it's just that. There is no protocol, there is no domain name, there is no folders, etc. Okay, now that's if it's just in the same folder, and that's very, very straightforward and very, very simple. Okay, and that's what I'd be suggesting. So if you're looking at absolute references, you're normally looking at linking to somebody else's resource that you do not own and you have not created, or is not in the same location as the file that you're linking from. And if you're talking about relative references, you're normally talking about websites, content that you've created yourself. Okay, so again, the absolute reference is the full website address, including the protocol, etc. And the relative reference, on the other hand, is just the name of the actual file. Okay, that's if everything is in the one folder. You can, of course, complicate things a little bit more if you want to. You can create subfolders. I'm saying to you, for beginners, it's better off if you don't, because it gets a little bit more complicated. But if you do create subfolders, well then what you would do is, a relative reference would include the name of the folder like this, but would not include the protocols, would not include the domain names, just the name of the folder. And if you see a folder like list/begin, as we have right here, what you'll notice is that this will work like this, that the folder lists will be inside the folder that we're dealing with already. So it'll be a subfolder of it. Okay, we're here on this site and the web page you're linking from is right here, but as if you're looking for a page called begin, it's inside that folder, and the page is called begin, it's inside a folder called list. Okay. And likewise, if you're creating a link from a file going backwards or going outside that folder, you would be ... /lists, which means that you're stepping outside the folder you're in already. You're in this folder here. It's a folder outside of that. So it's in the same major folder above that. And you're going back one folder to lists, and you're looking for a page called links page. So that's all. It's all possible. You can actually have folders inside folders and so on. But my advice would be for a novice to put everything simply into one folder. And the simple rule of thumb would be, if you're linking to your own pages and you're linking to your own site, and you're linking to your own content, and it's all in the one folder, you're using relative referencing. So that makes it far easier for when we put it up online later on and we publish it. And if you're linking to somebody else's material, somebody else's folder, somebody else's files, you would use absolute references.